Cool K and County Fairgrounds here. Do I have the one, the only Jason Vaude on the line, the circus man?
That's right, in person.
Hi, Mr. Vaude. How's your day going?
Excellent. How was yours?
Busy. Technology challenge. Okay.
Tell me about it. I had a fight with my printer the other day.
Yeah.
It's fine. That's what's going on in my life.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that we are not the only two that are suffering from this. Okay. All right. So tell me, you're an entertainer and you do some unusual things. How did you get started?
Yeah. It was about 20 years ago, a little over 20 years ago. I started working at a toy store here in Kansas City, Missouri, where I was born. It was a teenager job, and they had a magic shop and costume shop, and they sold all kinds of interesting novelty items, and I learned how to do some magic and some juggling and some unicycling, all because of this magical little shop they had in there.
Okay. All right. Well, then, that's good. So have you done anything else for a living?
Actually, no. I mean, I've had some part-time jobs to help get me through the first 5 or 10 years of wanting to be a performer, because I started when I was 17, so I didn't know much about business. I was just doing it because I was obsessed with it, and I did that for a long time, and it's all I really have been dedicated to wholeheartedly for for all of my adult life. So
yeah, Jason, a lot of my entertainers that I have interviewed have told me the same thing. They get obsessed with it when they're young.
Yes, and obsessed, yeah. It kind of saved me, too, because I did not know what I wanted to do at the time. I didn't have any career prospects or any, dreams of anything at the moment. And juggling was it, because I was always athletic and also kind of artsy, and so it just all fell together really well. And
okay.
I knew it was something I wanted to do. I saw they had like sort of in the magic shop they had old VHSs and DVDs at the time, and I was exposed to professional magicians and performers, street performers of all kinds, either through video or sometimes in person. And so that's where it occurred to me that, you can, do this for a long time. And some of these folks were, up there in age. So I always thought, well, this is who I am now. I'm just going to do that too.
Okay. All right. So you're basically a self-taught juggler?
More or less, yeah. I mean, there was a guy there who taught me originally, but someone taught me the basics one day. They taught on Saturdays. They had a juggling juggling workshop.
Okay.
And that's how I learned. And then, but I saw the torches in the case available and knives, and I saw there was a unicycle and all these other things, and I also learned how to fire dance as well. So yeah, I wanted to do all that cool stuff. So that was the incentive was to go get to do all the stuff that was on fire, and it was just an exciting idea for me at the time.
All right. So somehow you had to get started in doing shows. How did that happen?
So my best friend who I met there, he also worked at the toy store. And he also was interested in juggling at the same time as me. We had a very similar narrative as far as we learned together actually a lot. Kind of became performing partners, and we put together a duo called Better Than Nothing. And we were. That's all we could confidently claim, I think. And we went out and we tried to just. I mean, my idea was to go and just willingly make a fool out of myself. I felt like that was the best attitude going in, and it was very liberating. We would go out and we'd go to the street here at the plaza here in Kansas City. Kansas City is not a very good street performing scene, but there were a few spots we could find here and there, and that's how we started. And then eventually we got a gig at the Renaissance Festival here in Kansas City.
So what was your first gig like?
Well, that's a good question. Well, one of my first paid gigs was a friend of mine who was a bit older. He's kind of a mentor of mine, and just kind of supportive. And he hired me to come perform for him and his friends, sort of a backyard party. And he gave us like $400 afterwards, and we were just super thrilled. We did not know what we were doing. We knew how to do some skills, but we didn't really have a lot of showmanship or any material really. But I think that a lot of people at that time were just interested to see these two crazy guys spinning fire around in their backyard. So that was I think the first paid gig I remember where, that really stuck out to me as far as like, oh, this is a real job. I can make some real money doing this. It's not just it's not just a dream. It can happen.
So you work by yourself though now, right?
Yeah, I'm solo now. I've been solo for a long time. We were also part of a troupe for a while there, a fire troupe called Vesuvius. And we, at some point I broke off because I wanted to do it on my own. And, ever since, that's what I've been doing for a long time. And sometimes I perform with a local group in Kansas City called Quixotic.
Okay.
Just finished up a run with them recently, just a couple months ago. And that's a little bit of a different thing I get to do. So yeah, I try to do different things to keep it exciting, but my main thing is fairs and festivals. I have two shows. One is a 30-minute juggling comedy show, and the other is just about 25-30 minutes. It's also a circus show, but everything is on fire in the show. So I have a sort of a daytime show and a nighttime show, if you will.
Okay. All right. So, so how many years have you been doing this now professionally, do you think?
Professionally, it kind of blended. So I would say 15 years, maybe 15. I mean, we did do, technically 20 years, but, it takes a little while to, I've been doing it solely without any other income for about 10 years.
Yeah, I just looked at your list of fairs and festivals that you've done. You've done a bunch of fairs and festivals. I've interviewed a bunch of those fairs and festivals. So.
Oh yeah, I saw you interviewed Star Child. I heard that one. That was just recently, right? And she was her and Richard are Stilt Walkers, Stilt Circus, and
yes.
Yeah, and I performed not with them, but alongside them at the New Mexico State Fair for the last 4 years. Good people. So yeah, it's fun when you meet people on the road that you've seen at a convention or connect in different ways.
So how long is if you do a show at say a county fair, are you a grounds act also?
I can be, yeah. I like stages. Like if I could have exactly what I want, I would be put on a stage. But street performing is not unfamiliar to me at all. So I'm used to putting a rope. I put a rope in a big circle to draw a line for people to stand around. And of course, everybody comes and stands around. I kind of pull people in, and I can do that street style show as well. I was always under the impression, I had always heard that if you have a show that can work on the street, it will probably work on a stage. But if you have a show that has always been on the stage, it may or may not work on the street.
Yeah.
So that's why street performing was of interest for a while.
Okay.
I've never been like a serious, like I said, Kansas City's not the best street performing city, but yeah, that's a lot of what I do, because a lot of fairs don't have extra stage laying around. Maybe they just want to fill some space. So
okay.
yeah, I can come in. I've got a big trunk that it has wheels on it, but it converts into a small stage. It's about 3 feet big. It's not very big, but I can jump up onto that, get some height, get some real stage presence, and yell further, be seen from further, and make a thing, break the ceiling, as they say, and make it feel like a real show.
Okay. So one of the things about you, I'm kind of curious about. Juggling is one thing, but this fire eating stuff, how did that happen?
Yeah. Well, it all goes back to U.S. Toy. That was the name of the toy store. It was just such a special. I mean, to see these things being sold in person is just so unusual. You just get them online, but they had fire poi and fire juggling stuff for sale, and so I learned about Dubé, the juggling company, used to make some fire poi. I don't know if they still do. They used to be made out of cables instead of chains, which is kind of unusual if you know anything about fire poi. But we got some of that stuff from the toy store, and I was just fascinated with it. We played a lot in the backyard, learning how fire works and getting used to it. Fire eating took me a long time to come around to, though. My buddy had done it a lot, but
yeah.
I was understandably nervous to do it. Eventually, I turned on some rock music, and to get me in the mood, and then I just went for it, and it wasn't so bad. And so now it's part of the show. I don't like doing the fire eating too much, but it's technically not good for you. So I beat around the bush for a while. I talk about the fire. I do some different hand tricks and some what looks like magic tricks with the fire. I light my pants on fire for a moment, quote unquote, accidentally. So I have some fun with it. Turning it into a interactive show, an experience, if you will.
Okay. Are you a married guy?
I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I'm like a CIA agent or something. I have no connections. Nope. So I'm free to fully do this career. I mean, I have 2 cats. I have a roommate. I've got a lot of really good close friends here in Kansas City that are like my family. I've got my mom here. So yeah, this is home for me, and I feel really good here. And
what does your mom think of this?
She's proud of me now. She used to be really nervous. She's a mom. She never liked the fire dance or anything like that. But I was rebellious, and I did what I wanted.
Of course.
And so, she just had to deal with it. And now it's, for me, it's eating fire or juggling knives is just another day in the office. It's just something I've done so many times now. It's not so scary.
Yeah, I'm a mother too. I would be nervous too, I have to tell you.
Yeah, and you should. I mean, it is. Yeah, it's it's important to stay a little nervous. As a performer, stay a little vigilant. You don't want to get overconfident. That's where mistakes happen.
Okay, so I see you book pretty much all over the country. Do you do your own booking?
Yeah, I've definitely done some of my own, going out to the conventions and conferences across the country, IAFE, and but I don't really love the business side that much. I love the performing side, and so over the years I have had different agents helping me along the way, and still do. So Mark Sparks with Triangle Entertainment or Triangle Talent, and Delissa with Stage West Entertainment. Just a couple of the names of people who've helped me along the way.
You know, most of the guys that I've interviewed like you throughout the years have worked for the circus, and you've never worked for the circus, right?
Correct. Yeah. That's always been a one-man circus for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, because I've interviewed a lot of people throughout all the years that I've been doing this. And you've been pretty much all over the United States?
Pretty much, yeah. I haven't counted all the states I've performed in. I did Alaska during the pandemic. That was interesting. But yeah, I've performed all over the place, and I drive everywhere. Right now,
okay.
I'm working on making a show that's a little bit smaller and can fit more easily in a suitcase to be able to fly. And pretty much I've got that going too. But I've enjoyed driving, so just load up the car and drive across to wherever I got to go.
Do you do your own website?
I did, yes. I used one of you've probably heard of Squarespace or Wix.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I did it myself.
Have you been overseas?
I have a few times, and only about 2 times have I been out. India, I went to India and performed, and then also London once. But yeah, mostly in the U.S.
Yeah. I have a guy that works for me from India, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So where would you like to perform that you haven't had the chance?
Well, I am still doing a lot of fairs and festivals, but I think my next dream or my next focus is more corporate stuff. So, less sunscreen, and also as I get a little older, I'm still young now, but I want to work toward getting more corporate work. And lately, I've started doing a motivational presentation with all of the same circus skills, the unicycle, juggling, and all of that. And so that's my next venture, is to add the motivational side to it, add a message to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and so how do people book you?
Just go to thecircusman.com, or you can find me on Instagram, or what else do I have? TikTok, or but thecircusman.com will take you to all of the things. You can find my email on there and everything as well. Yeah, that's the easiest way. It's just me running the business. So.
Hey, Jason, you've never been really hurt, have you?
No. I just knocked on wood, though. No, I've been burned a few times. I've been, small things that nothing a Band-Aid can't take care of, So I've been very lucky not to ever break. I've never broken a bone. I've never had a terrible injury or anything like that. So.
Okay. Well, I see your phone number here. We'll get this posted, and hopefully you'll get some bookings out of it. Beautiful.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Jason.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.